Warm welcome, everyone, to this live studio talk show during World Water Week. Welcome to you here joining us on site, and a heartfelt welcome for everyone joining online. Today and right now, we're launching a global report uh, called Wastewater Turning Problems into Solutions. And it's been developed by UNEP and Grid Arendal. And I'm delighted to have you here that have been working so intensely with this report. And you're going to share with us the results of the report and also how can we turn wastewater into more solutions that benefit all of us. I would actually ask you to introduce yourself very shortly and also to share how have you been working with the report. We can start with you.
Thank you. I'm Heidi Savelli. I'm acting chief of the Source to Sea unit that's focusing on developing the report very much in collaboration with Grid Arendal. So our team has been working on this very hard over the last year almost.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Daniel Diba. I work with the Stockholm Environment Institute, and I was one of the contributors to this report amongst many other colleagues from around the world.
Yes, my name is Christina Tugesson. I work with Grid Arendal as a waste and marine litter expert, I think we call it that. And I've been the project manager of this report, trying to pull together a lot of experts' opinions like Daniel's here contributed to the report, and now we have a final report.
Good, and congratulations! Now that the report it's here, and you can breathe out a little bit more and celebrate it's here. But we're going to talk about the solutions the report highlights. But let's start also to get everybody watching on board. Can you, Heidi, if you can start with what was the context that led to this report, and what are the challenges that we have when it comes to globally when it comes to wastewater?
Well, we launched a report more than 10 years ago called Sick Water, which also a collaboration with many experts and Grid Arendal and others. And we were hoping that the report at the time would be highlighting the issue of wastewater, not only as a problem, but really as a resource. Unfortunately, we're seeing that when we are taking stock now, there is still quite a long way to go to kind of move this paradigm shift, looking at it from a resource perspective rather than a problem.
Yeah, and it's like 10 years since the last report. Have things changed, or got better? Have things got worse when it comes to wastewater?
Wastewater is still one of the most pressing challenges that exist, especially in many regions around the world. You have large amounts flowing into the environment untreated. And that's a lost opportunity, because if we don't look at it as a resource, we're really kind of not meeting or trying to address the crisis related to climate, to water, to biodiversity, and to pollution.
Good. And that links me to your question, a question to you, Christina. Like you're highlighting the challenges, and also that it seems that it's going very slowly, this shift that you all are eager to see. But what are the possibilities also seeing wastewater as a resource?
Well, there's a huge, what do you call that? It's a huge benefit or resource. As you say, it's a resource. I mean, we can do a lot of things with it if we actually do start to clean it.
So can you speak a little bit louder?
I can?
Yes.
Better? So the first thing is energy. I mean, it creates 5 times, if we clean wastewater, it often creates 5 times more energy than we actually need to clean it. So there we have a benefit. I mean, energy.
So by cleaning wastewater, we get more energy than what we use cleaning it, of course.
So it's a plus side. Then we can use what we clean it for as nutrients. So that would be fertilizer for farming. We can use the water for watering with. Or we can also clean it as much as we can use it for drinking. And
can we drink wastewater?
Yes.
Wow.
And we have to clean it.
Yeah, very
properly. Actually, one of our case studies come from Namibia, and they have been drinking wastewater for 50 years.
And have I been drinking wastewater without knowing it, maybe?
Probably.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, yeah. Since it's good for the environment. And I'm good that I didn't know.
well, I mean, water is we have the water we have on the planet. It's not going to come more.
Yeah.
And if we define wastewater, it's not something that we take and throw it out to space.
Yeah.
We still have it here. And one place you might be leading out some treated wastewater into a water body. Further down the line, you might be taking it into drinking water.
Yeah.
So yes.
So of course I have. It's
So-
just that maybe it's like since we have this water cycle,
So we
but
have-
many think of like wastewater. It's like no, that it's never been. But we have many possibilities in reusing even more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and linking to that, Daniel, I would love to hear. You've been also working with the report, but you also have been adding a dimension of like youth and future, and also innovations linked to wastewater management. Can you share with us, like, what are the innovations and the solutions that are highlighted in the report?
Okay. Yeah, there's many innovations that are highlighted in the report, and a key issue that we discuss in the report is that we need to have not just existing knowledge and approaches for both managing and reusing wastewater, but there's a need for new innovative approaches. Now, of course, when you talk about innovation, people quickly think about technologies or wastewater treatment technologies or wastewater treatment products. But innovation is not just about the technical approaches for how to both collect, treat, and reuse or turn wastewater into useful products. It's also about social innovations. For example, how can we build trust amongst people? How can we build social acceptance amongst people? How can we build awareness amongst people about the use of the resources that are available in wastewater and about the importance of conserving those very important resources that are available in wastewater? And another important thing is that innovation is also something that should be context specific. And this is something also that is discussed to great length in the report in terms of being environmentally, socially, culturally, economically viable and acceptable in the different contexts where different types of innovations, regardless whether it's technical or social or financial innovations as well to sort of foster these different approaches for managing wastewater and turning it into resources. So these are things that we discussed at great length in the report.
Beautiful, thank you. And linked to that, Heidi, and what you were highlighting also about how things have not been moving forward. And you're also talking about the need of social innovations. And the way I hear as well, maybe I interpreted you wrongly, but the need also of like the change of perspective and behavioral changes. It's like how we see things. What would you say are the biggest opportunities when it comes to like removing the obstacles that are slowing down the process right now, since the upsides are so many?
Is to continue highlighting the benefits of looking at this type of reuse of wastewater. It's to elevate the issue at the international policy arena and make all actors come together to better communicate the benefits, the opportunities, and the approaches. So how do you increase applicability of the innovation, of the different solutions that are forthcoming, both existing but also future-wise? How do we engage the stakeholders in this group? So I think the message is really we can't waste water, and wastewater is there to be used. We shouldn't lose that opportunity. Second thing is it's not a visible issue as much as plastics, for example, but just because it's out of sight, it can't be out of our minds. So it's up to kind of the broader community, and these type of platforms are extremely important. But also we talk to other entities, other groups of stakeholders, other opportunities to really highlight the key messages and the opportunities.
Yeah. And also just ask like also for me preparing for all the sessions during World Water Week, there's so many reports and there's so much policy, but the challenge is just like bringing all the contents and the facts and the solutions in the report to bring it to action. And also sometimes it's kind of frustrating when you see like, oh, the same things were written 10 years ago, but not so much has happened. But now we're here, we launched this report, and what do you see and what do you envision also? It's important to make sure that the solutions in the report actually lead to tangible change.
Well, I think we have to, as Daniel said, there are a lot of actors that need to get together and make good regulations, good policies.
And are you facilitating that as well? And who does that?
That would be Heidi.
That would be Heidi. Okay, I'm just to check it because some in here like somebody should do this. Like,
Yes. So she'll, yeah. So we need also to have policies that are adapted to the new methods that we can use, and of course we need to do all this in a safe way. course, we cannot, I mean, harm people, harm the environment.
Mm.
But we cannot also not wait until everything is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to do it, but we need to collaborate more. And yeah, how are you working with like bringing the stakeholders together, and how will you make sure that this report actually
So the UN
drives
Environment Programme
transformation?
convenes different actors, and we're working through, for example, global partnerships, including the Global Wastewater Initiative and the Global Partnership on Nutrient Management in this context. And we're also promoting the increased collaboration between actors in these different types of spaces, so that the solution space can grow with broader regional representation and with more inclusivity of other sectors, non-traditional as well.
Okay. Daniel.
Could I make a comment? I mean,
Yes, please.
you mentioned something very interesting. I mean, 10 years ago, there was a report, and here we are with another report,
Yeah.
amongst hundreds of others that are out there talking about these issues. It's said there is nothing new under the sun, but we keep having to revisit old things, and sometimes it's necessary to put old wine in new wineskin, if not for anything else, just to reinforce the message, because some of these are sort of principles that are really long-lasting. If you look back to ancient China, there was a proverb that said, you can give away a bag of rice, but you cannot give away a bowl of compost. And
I never heard that one.
Exactly. This is from
And you
over
sure it's
thousands of years ago,
Okay.
because before the current paradigm of sewer centralized sanitation systems that we have in all major cities around the world, people knew the value in terms of nutrients that are available in excreta, and so they had sanitation systems that, of course, separated excreta from people, but closely returned it to agricultural practices as a source of nutrients, as a source of fertilizer. So actually what we are doing right now is that we need to look to the past, to learn from what was done then, to learn from ancient wisdom, as it were, and see how we can apply those principles in our current generation. And an important thing also is essentially, how do we communicate about wastewater issues? Because I think we need to find new ways of telling compelling and engaging stories about wastewater to drive behavior change, to drive engagement with different kinds of people, with different types of stakeholders, to build these collaborations that are necessary to take action going forward. So I think approaches, or new innovative approaches in how we communicate, is a key way to leverage and turn things to get forward.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to hear, because I see that you have some things with you. So I'm looking forward to ask the question when you're going to bring them up. But before that, just like a cliffhanger, because I think the viewers can see what you have with you. But Christina, your comments on what Daniel just said, or like adding more to it, do you agree?
Yeah, definitely, I do agree, because we have most of the solutions and we just need to accept to use them. And another thing is calling wastewater waste. It's not, it's just use water, and needs to be directed in the place where it's useful now, in the state it is, or cleaned to a state where we can use it. So there is
maybe
nothing.
changing the
name would just
name from wastewater to used water.
use water or enrich water.
Recycle, no, it's not upcycled yet, but
Yes.
can be.
And then also understand that you as a person in your everyday life can actually add positively to this change by making sure that you don't use so much, you don't pollute so much, and reuse as much as you can.
Yeah, but that's an important thing also, to not create, to
We are
be aware of like how much water do we actually use, both as person but also society overall. Okay, we're also like, do you have any comments, Gideon?
I think the communication aspect and highlighting the opportunities, it remains central in this topic. So what are the benefits, economic benefits, social benefits? What are
they? Can you mention some?
Economic just the reuse of wastewater can add great value to both agricultural practices if you have safe reuse of wastewater approaches. In areas with lack of water, where water is a problem, then wastewater is really essential for you to be able to proceed with daily life in many ways. And in terms of economic benefits, I think the development of innovation, the innovation space is quite considerable here also, in terms of building on previous knowledge, perhaps not, well, 1,000 years ago, excellent. So we have quite a lot to draw on, and how can we scale and replicate these type of solutions across the world? So from
And also
private sector perspective, this is a great area, space of innovation, I think.
both innovation and from my also like a good business. I mean, we will always have use water.
Always use water.
And what do you see about that? Like working also, if we're going to work cross-sector, where all the business opportunities, also opportunities for social entrepreneurs to drive solutions in these fields, and also because there is so much to do. Daniel, do you have comments on that?
Yes, I think there's many innovations that are coming up right now. Some of them actually connecting to ancient wisdom, as I mentioned earlier. Because an interesting thing is, I have two friends here that I like moving about with from time to time.
Yeah.
Mr. Poo and Mr. Pee. And there is a reason why everyone can recognize this. Mr. Poo is much smaller than Mr. P, because on average, a human being generates about half a kilogram of feces and about 1 liter of urine a day. Of course, it can go up and down depending on various factors. But most of the nutrients are actually located in the urine.
Well, I'm learning so much.
Not the feces, which just contains most of the organic matter and, of course, energy that can be recovered through various, chemical and physical processes. So one of the key ways, one area that a lot of innovation is pushing towards is that can we find ways to separate these waste streams instead of putting them together and then spending a lot of money and energy and other resources to try to separate them in decontamination processes at wastewater treatment plants, or as they are called now in the United States, water resource recovery facilities. So that's an area where lots of innovations that are happening. And I have two that I will just highlight quickly. One is, this is a concentrated urine solution that is made from nitrification processes.
For real, or it's just a...
This is not a pilot. This is a full-scale commercial solution that is available right now by colleagues from a company called Vuna in Switzerland right now. And this has actually been certified by the government of Switzerland. So this actually is available on the market. You can buy this product. It's called Orin. A concentrated solution of urine that you can get, dilute with water, put on your tomatoes, put on your different crops or flowers around the house, or whatever other practices that you have to grow food. And this is a powder.
grow food.
Yes, to grow food, exactly. So that's taking nutrients back to soil.
And now in this, and then because time is running up, so you just introduce it shortly.
Yes, so this is a powdered substance, and this is also taking the nutrients available in urine and then using a drying process to dry them into a powder form that can also be used as fertilizer. Of course, certain agriculture practices will need liquid substances to provide the nutrients. Others contexts, it's easier to work with the powder form. So these are some of the innovations that are happening in this area to take us forward so that we can receive nutrients.
Beautiful. Thank you. It's like he needs applause after this presentation. It's so concrete. And thank you so much. It made also, both the possibilities and also the knowledge that it's needed to actually to drive this change forward. So concrete. And I like I was saying, I learned a lot, and also again, it's always good to exemplify concrete innovations. Time is running up, so I just want to give the final word to you, Heidi. Also, like, where do we find the report, and how can more engage and be part of the solutions?
Yes, definitely. The report is available from the UNEP website, so it's available there, and it can also be shared. In this is being recorded. The link will also be under the YouTube recording of this, if you wish to find it. There are also a number of resources that can be used if you wish to spread the word. Please follow the UNEP social media accounts, or have a look today as the promotion of the report is going out there as well. And of course, engage in the Global Wastewater Initiative. My colleague Alex is here as well and is happy to explain more.
What's the name of the report, sorry?
Alex.
Wastewater, turning problem to solution.
Wastewater, turning problems to solution. And it was also the name of this session that is coming to an end. So thank all of you for highlighting how use water is and can be used more as a resource, since it is a resource that we're not always using. So thank all of you, and thank all of you joining us online for participating in this launch. Thank you.
Thank you.